Hey, what's going on, guys? So the HGUC Bolanox Saman is out now. I don't have that yet to be able to review for you guys, but hopefully will soon. In the meantime, Bandai did recently reprint the HGUC Palace Athene kit, which is all the way back from 2006. Always thought that this was a cool looking model kit. It's a pretty unique design for sure, and one that I've always wanted to check out and just never kind of gotten around to it. Since recently it's been reprinted, I thought it's a good opportunity to take a look here at the HG Palace Athene. I love taking a look back at some of these older HG kits, but this one, yeah, looks like it's going to be a really nice one. So we'll check it out here for today's video. Let's go ahead and get started. And so like I said, this kit released back in 2006. We've got typical like mid-2000s style box art here for this, a cool background image there, and a really nice illustration of the mobile suit right here on the front. Looking very cool. It's a relatively normal sized HGUC box here, number 60 in the line. And then here on the bottom of the box, we can see what the fully built and painted sample of the kit is going to look like there, front and back. We've got some text there in Japanese. And then over here, a little bit more about it. It looks like we are going to have maybe a stand included, so that'll be nice. Some stats there. And then on the other side, more details about the kit, some of the features of the design right there. Some more text, and then what looks to be a photo of the kit completely unpainted there, I think. And then with that, we can go ahead and pop the top and check out our contents inside. Right off the bat, that yellow, it's a lot more pale looking than what I was expecting. Let's go ahead and check out the instruction manual here first. As is an HGUC kit, we just got a nice full photo here of the painted sample. Again, great for painting reference there for you. We've also got those stats here now in English. So it's got the twin beam gun, the mega beam cannon, the scattering beam cannon, large missile, beam saber, custom shield, all sorts of good stuff here. And then on the back side, again, just more detail images of some of that stuff. So there's like the large missiles, the twin beam cannon and everything. We got the beam saber handle stored in the shield and all that good stuff. We got the painting guide there, the color guide down there at the bottom. On the inside, more info here. It's all in Japanese. We got some more detail images of that. It looks like more about like the claw feet, and then over here again, that artwork that we saw on the front, and then also some line art there as well. And then you can see, for example, with the Palace Athene facing off against a Gundam Mark II, and some more just kind of story text up there at the top. On the inside, on our black and white pages, we've got the parts list. And then all the construction, it's going to be just 1, 2, 3 pages of construction, and that's it. So pretty simple and straightforward here. We are also going to have some foil stickers here in that brighter yellow and in some of that pale yellow. So we are going to have 2 different kind of yellow colors, it looks like. Some pink, some black, and overall kind of a lot of stickers here for this one, it looks like, but I think it just kind of comes with the territory. Getting into the runners, then we've got runner PC123 here for our polycaps there in gray, and then runner SB6 for our clear yellow beam saber effect parts. Now for 1/44 scale kits, there's 2 different sizes that Bandai commonly uses. This is the smaller size, which it seems like with the Palace Athene being, I think, a little bit larger of a mobile suit, it would have made sense to use the larger size ones, but we'll see how these work on the kit. Runner A then here is a 4-color runner with that pale yellow at the bottom, red over here on the side, this navy blue color here, and then one little green part up there for the antenna. Then runners B1 and B2 are going to be all of our gray parts, mostly for some joints and weapons parts there. Runner B2 here, all the parts for the large missiles, and you'll see that those are going to be seam lines all the way around on all those, so it's going to be a lot of fun getting rid of those. And then runners C, D, and E are going to be all of the rest of our green armor parts for the kit. So these look pretty nice, and you'll notice on some of these, you can see like where some of those stickers are going to be going on the shoulder parts there, for example. On runner D, runner E here is a nice looking part there for the shield, and leg parts and everything on there. Lastly then, a runner F is in gray, and it's going to be this flexible rubber material here for the pipes. So it's good. These will be very flexible. We'll see how those look on the kit, and that's it. Let me go ahead and get it all built up. Alright guys, and here is the kit all built up. Really fun build. Definitely you can feel the age of the kit a bit, just because there is going to be quite a lot more seam lines and stuff like that are kind of dead giveaways as to this kit being much older. But that said, if you're a fan of HG kits, especially like HGUC stuff that's a bit more obscure, this one's also like a bit larger, a bit more kind of funky design, stuff like this, and just overall just a pretty unique build. This is definitely one that I would recommend for you guys, and that's the reason why I wanted to build it for a long time. I'm really glad that I finally got around to having the chance to build this up. But like I said, it's got its issues, it's got its pros and cons for sure, but overall I think just such a cool, unique design, well worth the price. Let's go ahead and check it out here in a bit more detail. And the first thing you'll notice, as you just saw there, the kit is able to stand on its own perfectly fine, despite it being pretty tall and a bit back heavy, obviously with all this stuff going on here on the back. And it's just thanks to these big feet that it has. So it has these very long feet, and you have these parts here on the back that just add extra stability on there, so that all works out really well. And the kit is able to stand up perfectly fine without any assistance. That said, if you did want to plug this onto an action base, this is actually going back to not very often used action base adapter piece. If you pop off that little cap piece right there, you can see it has this kind of rectangular action base adapter spot right there. Not very often used, but hopefully you guys might have that piece left over from an old action base 1 or 2, I believe, should have those. And as for the height of the kit, you can see it's coming up to a head height of around 16 centimeters. The top of the backpack reaches up to about over 21 centimeters in height, and compared to a standard 1/44 scale, just the RX-7882 Gundam kit here, you can see it's going to be pretty large just in terms of its overall height there. But let's talk about accessories, as most of the accessories we've got already on here, that being just the shield, which connects onto the arm. Now this can actually connect onto either the back side or the side of the arm, so either the back or the side. You have connection points for the shield. Inside the back of the shield there, you can see is going to be our 2 beam saber handles, along with some nice detail in here, but the beam saber handles can just be popped out. That said, as far as our hand options go, we have these 2 closed fists, which are really nice to be able to have those. And then we've got 1 beam saber holding hand here for the right side only. So we've got 2 beam saber handles, but we can only actually hold 1 at a time with just our 1 single holding hand here. That said, we do have 2 beam effect parts right here. So 2 beam saber effect parts, which again are the shorter type, really, especially because this is a larger mobile suit. Would have preferred this to include the longer type 1/44 scale beam saber effect parts, so that's kind of a shame. One kind of cool thing though is that these can actually attach into the end of the gun. So here attached onto the other arm right here, just via that little hard point right there. These beam effect parts do actually fit into the barrel of the beam rifle here. And so if you wanted to have that looking like it's actually shooting there, something like that, with using your beam effects like so, you can actually do that. So that's kind of cool. And so aside from the equipment that attaches onto the arms and the beam sabers, we do of course have the large missiles attached here on the backpack. Now each of these are gonna pop off. I dropped that one, so let me grab this one here for you. There's 8 of these and they're all the same, so they just have this cutout right here to be able to attach onto the backpack. They are just going to be 2 parts with a seam line going all the way around on these. Front side looks like that, the back side looks like that. So if you wanted to actually attach these onto something to make them look like they were actually like flying around or something, you will have to just drill a little hole or something there in the back to be able to plug this onto an effect part, or just a clear plastic rod or something like that. So just something to keep in mind if you wanted to have these actually in use. And that's it for all of the accessories here, but there is one more thing that you can do with the feet. As you may have noticed here, we have this little bit at the front, and then these claw parts around the backside can just rotate around here like this. This is getting a little bit into the articulation now, which we'll talk some more about here in just a second, but those can come around here like this to make a claw. So it's got the claw feet there that you can use to grab onto different opponents or whatever, something like that. And you'll notice on the inside of there is going to be some hollow gap, which is a little bit unsightly. And from here, let's talk about the rest of the articulation. So aside from those parts being able to move, the ankle itself just on a ball joint, so this will be able to move up and down. Can angle this a little bit left and right slightly there like so. Our legs are just attached via a ball joint there at the hip, so you can get a very tiny bit of rotation. You can bring them out to the side to about there. I do kind of wish that you're able to actually get a bit more hip articulation out of this, but this is just kind of the standard of the time. This side skirt armor is actually just attached to the side of the top of the thigh, so that can move a little bit, but not too much. And if we bring the leg up, you can see we do have a double joint in the knee, which will give us a pretty nice full bend there, which does look good. I like that. And then obviously no other front or back skirt armor really to speak of. This big part here at the back does look pretty nice. And then as I showed you, we do have that hard point underneath for plugging this on a base. Now here at the middle section, those soft hose parts are actually connected in like the hip part right here, and like feed up through this part and then feed up into the chest right there. And so we just have a ball joint between the top and bottom half of the kit that will allow for a little bit of side-to-side rotation, and like in theory a little bit front and back bend, although not really much of an ab crunch here to speak of. But those hoses being flexible definitely helps for that rotation there at the midsection. I want to take off the backpack here for a second just to show this to you guys now. So the kind of wing parts, as I'll call them, are able to move like forward and back like this. You can also rotate them slightly up and down, and that's kind of about it. As far as the articulation goes here at the backpack, these whole sections here are just connected via like square pegs, so you would think that you would be able to rotate this section as it's connected to the center piece of the backpack, but it's just not able to move at all. Like I said, square pegs here and here, so just this little bit of articulation that you can get here at the wings is going to be about the extent of that. But back to the main kit here, the shoulder will be able to move forward and back a little bit there. This shoulder armor can move up and down, and again we have a couple of those soft rubber parts here. Those don't really do anything to either help or hinder the articulation at all. They're just connected here, basically go in from the top of the shoulder part to the bottom of the shoulder part. And then we have rotation at the top of the elbow joint. The elbow will bend to about 90 degrees there like so, and the hands are just attached via ball joints. And then going up here to the head will be able to rotate, and again those soft rubber parts really helping to stay connected to where they need to go, but allowing the head to move as needed. So that will be able to move side to side pretty well, up a little bit, down a little bit, and then you have to kind of tuck the tubes in there. You can put the head all the way down there pretty far and then up like that. So pretty good range of movement there, honestly. And from here, let's talk about the stickers. So just to bring the backpack in one more time real quick, we have a couple of stickers up there at the top, black stickers inside the vents there, but separate red parts here at the back, and that's it for the backpack. On the shield, no stickers here. That's a separate yellow piece, and then obviously nothing there on the back either, so that's good. That means most of our stickers are going to be here for the main kit. So up here on the head, we have a black sticker inside there, and then a separate pink circle sticker there for the mono eye, so you can actually place the mono eye wherever you want on there. And then up on the top of the head, a pink sticker there for the camera. On the back side of the head, just another black sticker just to fill in like this part of the back half of the track for the mono eye around the back side of the head. Here on the shoulders, pink stickers right here on the front and back side, those circle ones right there. And then here on the skirts, we have yellow stripe stickers right there. On the forearms, yellow stickers here on the sides of the forearms, but again, it's a separate red piece there for that. And around here on the beam gun, yellow stickers here and here on there. And then for the legs, we have the yellow stripe sticker on the thigh, one on the knee, one for inside that vent on the knee, one for down the front of the leg right here, one for down the front of the top of the foot, one for across this little bit here on the toe, and then going around to the back kind of side right here, there's two stickers for this yellow accent at the bottom of the leg, one that kind of wraps around the front and then one that just covers the back there right there. So a lot of the stickers, most of the stickers are going to be just for yellow accents, a lot of them being on the legs, but then going up to the top of the design there too, it's basically just for a lot of small little color accents that you wouldn't really expect to exist in a HG kit of the time, so it kind of makes sense. Lastly then, just to talk about the seam lines on this kit, which there are plenty of, basically on every section, like here on the shoulders, seam lines there, on the head there's a seam, and it's going to be most notable here on like the back side of the head there. Oh, this antenna piece on the top of the head too, by the way, is a little bit softer part too, so you don't have to worry so much about breaking that. I would still just kind of be careful. You'll have a seam line on the upper arm, a little bit on the outside, much more on the inside. On the green part of the forearm here, a little bit of a seam line there on the front, much more on the back there. And then on the legs too, a seam line on the thigh on the front. It's going to be less noticeable. On the back, it's going to be more so. On the lower leg, there won't be a seam line on like this outer armor piece or this outer armor piece, but it's on the inner part there. There will be a seam line down the middle of that section. And then here on the beam cannon, there'll be a seam line down the middle of this blue cannon part there on the outside. And then for the backpack, these sections here are just two halves put together, so you'll have a seam line running all the way down the middle, front and back of these parts here, except for where they're covered up with that blue piece right there. So overall, like I said, there's a lot of pros and cons. There's a good amount of seam lines on there. There's a good amount of stickers on there, but the overall articulation, not bad at all. The weapons and gimmicks that you have included, I mean, you don't have tons of weapons. You have basically what's like attached onto the mobile suit, the shield, the beam guns mostly, and then you do have the addition of the handheld beam saber that you can use. Beam sabers, I guess, but you can only hold one. And I like the fact that this actually comes with closed fists, because so many HG kits unfortunately do not, but it's great that this one does. Because I always hate to have like a kit that I'm wanting to paint and display, and the only hand option part that it has is maybe just like a holding hand, but if it's not holding anything, then it just kind of looks dumb. But again, I think the best part about this kit is just going to be its uniqueness and its size, again too. Like I said, for a lot of people, people that maybe like to build kits, but maybe they don't really like HG because they find them too small, this is definitely going to be a nice big HG kit. Definitely just as big as like smaller master grades, like the master grade crossbone or something like that, for example. So it's got some good size to it and a fair amount of complexity. I mean, like, it's an older HG, so it's not going to have a ton of parts. And as you can see, I mean, like, it didn't have a ton of parts. You can put it together relatively quickly, but I think the construction overall is pretty nice. And the addition of just, well, it's just because of how unique this design is, it's obviously going to be a little bit different of a building construction process. But that and to like the hose parts, those are actually really nice. And you guys know that usually I'm not a big fan of using like soft rubber hose parts for anything, but they work really well for this kit, and so really nice to see those. And if you weren't a fan of those and you wanted to opt for something different, like some spring detail parts or just wire detail parts or something like that, you could pretty easily change out those soft rubber hose parts for something else if you wanted to. So overall, really happy with this kit. Very cool kit. Definitely check it out if you guys are at all interested. Like I said, it's a fairly reasonable price for this one too. For the size of it and what you get, I definitely would say it's worth checking out. And the fact that it's actually available at the moment, I believe, just because it did recently get reprinted. I believe we should still have some in stock here at USA Gundam Store. You can check the link in the video description down below to check it out there on the website. But I would recommend picking it up while you can, because it's one of those that gets reprinted not very often. So definitely check it out if you've been curious about this kit. But that's going to do it for this review, guys. Thanks so much for checking it out. Hopefully you enjoyed taking a look at an older HG kit here with this one. Let me know your thoughts on it down in the comment section below. And make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Until next time, hope you all are having a great day. I'll see y'all later. Bye, guys.